Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mixed Martial Arts. UFC 270 just wrapped up, and I'm here with the Judo superhero to do the post-fight show. It was an incredible card, but there's nowhere to start except for with the main event. This was a crazy fight. Cyril Gane was down. Cyril Gane was up 2 rounds, and then Ngannou in round 3 started wrestling, got some big takedowns, and he ended up winning rounds 3, 4, and 5 against one of his toughest opponents he's ever faced. Plus, he was injured. Both of his knees were badly injured coming into this fight, and he had all the pressure in the world against him, as this was the final fight on his UFC contract. So what did you think of this absolutely crazy main event?
I mean, that's a career-defining performance for Francis Ngannou. All the odds were against him. Nobody wanted him to win. Injured himself, and he lost the first 2 rounds, which is when he's most dangerous. He comes back in rounds 3, 4, 5, where everyone thought he would do the worst, and he wins the decision, which no one expected to happen. I mean, just a crazy fight.
And we talked in the pre-fight show a little about who has the advantage on the ground, because we saw a possibility where this fight could actually take place on the ground. But we both thought Gane would have the advantage. It turns out Francis Ngannou was the better wrestler, and this is due to his time training at Extreme Couture with Eric Nixick. It was crazy because obviously Ngannou and Gane were training partners in the past. They both were trained by Fernand Lopez in Paris, France, a few years back. Gane still trains with Fernand Lopez. And if you remember when Ngannou fought Stipe for the first time at UFC 220, he was defeated due to his wrestling disadvantage. He didn't know how to wrestle. And it was almost like Ngannou knew that Cyril Gane's weakness was the wrestling because he knows the way they're trained with Fernand Lopez. Did you think that Francis Ngannou knew Gane's weakness would be wrestling? Because that was Ngannou's own weakness a few years ago too.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a bit of a weakness in the MMA factory where they don't focus too much on grappling, which is why Ngannou and Gane have both shown pretty big weaknesses there in the past couple of performances. So, yeah, I think he did know.
Yeah. Now, Cyril Gane, what he has to do is go work on his wrestling. Obviously, Fernand Lopez, perhaps he can help him with that, or Cyril Gane can go train with some other wrestlers. But Cyril Gane looks like the future to me. I still think he is one of the best heavyweights in the division right now. Clearly, he's so early on in his career, and he has plenty of time to improve there. But for now, Francis Ngannou is still the undisputed champion, and his contract expires at the end of the year on December 31st, 2022. And he says before the fight that he would not take another fight this year unless his contract is renegotiated. And now, how much power do you think he has against the UFC? Dana White didn't even come in to wrap the belt around his waist. It was actually another UFC executive. I believe it was Mick Maynard who came in to wrap the belt around him, which was a first. I've never seen him wrap the belt around someone. Have you guys ever seen that before? Let us know in the comments. But usually 90% of the time, it's Dana White. So how much power do you think Francis Ngannou has? How much leverage do you think he has at the negotiation table?
I mean, he has all the power in the world right now. The UFC is just furious right now. They are so mad that Ngannou won this. Ngannou can honestly do whatever he wants right now.
This post-fight press conference is going to be one of the most interesting things ever. If you guys are interested in Ngannou's contract situation, make sure you watch that press conference because Francis Ngannou's interview is going to be very interesting. But what do you think the odds are Dana White shows up to the post-fight press conference?
I do not think he is showing up. He is probably driving home right now, just in complete silence.
Yeah, it looked like he just took a beeline out of the building right after. He was nowhere to be seen. And that was one of the best cards that, I mean, the UFC's been on fire. Don't make no mistake about it. The UFC's on fire. That card was continuing the trend. It was incredible from start to finish. But the ending clearly got Dana White very upset. I agree. I don't think he'll be at the post-fight press conference, but this is going to be extremely interesting. What do you think Ngannou is going to do next? Do you think he's going to, I mean, he's the champion. He must resign. Do you think he's going to go, do you think the UFC is going to have to let him now go box while he's the UFC champion, similar to what McGregor did with Mayweather? Or what do you think's going to happen? Do you think he's going to just fight John Jones or Stipe or another contender? What do you think?
I think Ngannou mostly wants to box Tyson Fury. I think that's what he wants to do the most right now. But I think he would fight John Jones for the heavyweight title if the contract is right for him. He needs to make more money.
for a boatload of cash to fight John Jones, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be so interesting. I just can't wait to see this whole development unfold. I cannot wait. Perhaps he will be boxing Tyson Fury next, who knows? But this is going to be a really interesting thing to keep an eye on in the coming months. But we have to talk about the co-main event because this was an incredible fight too, in its own right. This was a more exciting fight, I would say, because so much was happening. The main event was incredible in a different way. But Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno was just awesome.
Number three.
It seems like they're going to do a fourth fight now because Deiveson Figueiredo won the title and knew by unanimous decision. I scored rounds 1, 3, and 5 for Deiveson Figueiredo. He looked incredible. The training with Cejudo clearly paid off, and that was a great fight. Did you agree with the decision?
Yeah, I did. I scored it the same as you. Great fight. Incredible trilogy. Right now, they're 1, 1, and 1. So it looks like they kind of have to do a fourth fight right now.
I think they will do a fourth fight, and that's going to be great. But now Deiveson Figueiredo is the undisputed champion. Clearly, he's got something good going on with Henry Cejudo. He looks very improved. He had some massive knockdowns in that fight, and I just can't wait to see the fourth one. This is the best flyweight rivalry that I've ever seen, and it was an awesome performance by both guys. Moreno looked great too. He had some amazing moments as well. So that was a great fight. Do you think that's fight of the night?
Oh, yeah, definitely. These guys are so evenly matched. They're just destined to fight each other.
Yeah, great rivalry. And really got to give credit to Figueiredo too, because how often do you see a champion reclaim their title in an immediate rematch? It's just so rare. The last time that I can remember was when Stipe defeated Cormier in the immediate rematch. For Stipe, it was an immediate rematch. Yeah. Cormier fought Derek Lewis in between. But Stipe fought Daniel Cormier in a rematch and KO'd him in round 4 to reclaim his title. That's the last time I can remember it. Also, I mean, Zhang Weili beat Rose in the second fight, in my personal opinion. But by the judge's decision, she lost. But it's so rare to see this. So what did you think about that, about Deiveson Figueiredo's effort to reclaim it in an immediate rematch?
I mean, it was so impressive. Like you said, this never happens. They almost always lose the rematch if it's immediate. Deiveson Figueiredo really showed off tonight. An incredibly impressive performance from him.
Yeah, got to give him credit. That's a very memorable performance, and it was incredible. But on the rest of the card, we had Michel Pereira versus Andre Fialho. Making his UFC debut was Fialho. And Fialho won round 1. Pereira clearly won round 2. And then the third round was close, but Pereira ended up winning it. I thought Pereira's second round was the best round I've ever seen from him in his career so far. He looks like a true welterweight contender there. What did you think of that fight?
Yeah, I agree. He did look like a good contender in the welterweight division. I think he could move up the rankings if he does fight like that more often. Maybe slows down on the crazy stuff a bit.
Yeah, and he did slow down that a bit tonight. But also, we had Cody Stamann versus Said Nurmagomedov. This was a great performance by Said. It was just a quick finish. Stamann's still one of the best fighters in the division, but Said Nurmagomedov looks like a true force to be reckoned with. Who do you want to see him fight next?
Just anybody ranked, really.
Him versus Sean O'Malley would be fascinating, I think. And to open the card, Michael Morales got a win in his UFC debut against Trevin Giles. That was also very impressive. To finish off the prelims, Victor Henry made his UFC debut as well, and he beat Raoni Barcelos. Also an awesome fight. So the bantamweight division had plenty of contenders rising up tonight, which was awesome to see because that's my favorite division in the UFC. And also we had Matt Frevola beating Valdéz on the prelims. That was a complete war as well.
5 knockdowns in the first round.
Yeah, that was crazy. So this card was incredible. And even the very first fight on the card with Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Kay Hansen, that was also a really cool fight. So this card was just, I mean, it wasn't that stacked when you looked at it on paper, but the fights delivered. It was awesome. And now we have one of, I would say, the biggest storyline to keep an eye on right now. Francis Ngannou as the champion, and his contract situation is probably the biggest thing in MMA right now, in my personal opinion. So this is going to be fascinating to watch and keep an eye on. But thank you guys for tuning in to our post-fight show. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the fights as well. Comment down below what your favorite fight was on the card and where you think Francis Ngannou will end up. What do you think he's going to do next? Do you think he's going to box? Do you think he's going to defend the title? And if he does defend in his next fight, who do you think he's going to defend it against? And also, what did you think of Cyril Gane's performance? Where do you think he's going to go from here? Comment your thoughts down below. And do you want to see Figueiredo fight Moreno a fourth time? Let us know in the comments. But follow the link in the description to my Twitter page for more frequent mixed martial arts updates. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe to the channel for more videos. I'll see you in the next video.